One, two. Let me see. Let's see if this is on now. One, two, one, two. All right. It sounds like you can hear me. Hopefully, you can hear me. Hopefully, people can hear me. Shout out to the 7 listeners, 7 people up in the chat. Uh, I ain't even want to say smash the like button because um, this ain't really about boxing. This ain't really about boxing, to be truthful. And hang on, let me set everything up quickly first. Give me 2 secs. Okay, I think everything's good now. Yeah, okay. I ain't even gonna say smash the like button because this ain't about boxing really. Shout out to the people that's obviously in the comment section. Gary Tracy, shout out to you. Tavara, shout out to you. We've been having the back and forth. Stavy, also shout out to you. Thanks for showing up to the chat. Everyone, thanks for showing up to this chat anyway. So a lot of people. Okay, sorry, Mr. T. Mr. T, what's going on? Thank you for showing up to the chat. And a couple others that are hiding behind the curtain. But anyway, since this whole Ryan Garcia thing that's happened with the racial rant, the racist rant, that's what it is. So I'm not going to sugarcoat it. A lot of people have been wanting to know my opinion, right? Tavara, hang on a second. I'm going to say this, Tavara, to you, because you said you wanted a link. First off, you messaged me and said that you wanted to hear my take. Right, wanted to hear my take, as did so many others message me and say they want to hear my take. So I'm going to give my opinion, but you're asking me to send you a link. That means you want a discussion. I'm not here to discuss race. I'm here to discuss boxing. If you want a link to discuss boxing, I'll send you a link for free. But if you want to discuss race, you got to pay me for that because my time is worth money. And I don't want to waste my time talking to anybody on especially if they're not. Listen, you need to be educated in history, educated in literature to be able to come and talk to me about stuff like that. And if somebody's like base level, surface level, I mean, I'm not dissing you and saying that you are because you might know a lot, right? But like, I'm not here. This is not a race channel, so I'm not here to talk about race. I'm not sending out a link to talk about race. Also, as well, like I only ever see you here when it's like race issues. Really, I can only remember when it's like racial issues. When not that I'm like pulling you up for it, but you know what I mean. This is a boxing channel, so I'm just gonna say that it's a boxing channel. People want to hear my opinion. You're gonna get my opinion. I'm not here to discuss race, politics, or religion on this channel. Okay. So okay, the N word was used in a rant by Ryan Garcia. Um, Don't worry, Stav, you're going to get my take. The N word was used in a rant by Ryan Garcia. What are my thoughts on Ryan Garcia's rant? It was a racial slur. That's what it was, right? I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not trying to say anything. It was a racial slur. Should he have done it? No. Should never have done that, right? He has now lost a lot of fans. There was a lot of he had a lot of fans within the black community in the UK and in the US of A. And now I think that's gone up in smoke. A lot of those people are now turned off by it. And you know what? I don't blame them at all. I do not blame them at all. The WBC have also dropped him as well, as I can see a few of you have put in the comment section. They've got rid of him. Again, he's being punished for his actions. Okay, and so he should be. I don't know if a few people were expecting to hear something different from me, right? But Ryan Garcia's use of the N word and the way he used it, coming from me, my point of view, and the way I see it, wrong, out of order, should never have said it, right? But I'm not a base surface person. I always like to look deeper into things, right? I like to look deeper into things. I'm gonna put a poll up here, right? Quickly, I'm gonna put a poll up here, and I want everyone's verdict on this. I want your truthful verdict on it, because I know a lot of people are upset about this. Yeah, a lot of people are upset about this. So I want everyone's true opinion on this. Hang on a second. Because listen, I had LDBC members coming into my video. The last video I made about Blue Blood and BFTB, right? I made a video about Blue Blood and BFTB, right? How BFTB is off code and he's now taking pictures with the ops. And I wanted to know what's being done about it, because these guys like to call it out all the time. I got LDBC members messaging me now, asking me, "Oh, Outlaw, we want to know your take on this. You're not defending your people." I'm going to get into that. These guys are messaging me and asking me what is my thoughts on Ryan Garcia and the N-word. But the thing is, they're messaging me on a Blue Blood video of me calling out Blue Blood, saying, why are you not calling out BFTB or saying anything about him taking pictures with manager Marty, who's been on your ass? He's been on your ass for the best part of 2 years. Why are you not calling that out? You got to keep it all level and above board and keep it 100. Blue Blood like to say he keeps it 100. 10 toes down. Yeah? BFTB's taking a picture with the ops. I wanted to understand, why is he taking the picture of the ops? These guys are not addressing that question. They're telling me about Ryan Garcia. So you need to clean up your own house. You need to check your own house. Keep your own house in order before you start to call out others. Yeah? Right? Leave it there for a second because I've got a bit more to say. Right. The poll's up, man. I just want to know what you guys think. So anyway, these guys were messaging me, right, and telling me, I bet you're not going to say nothing. I bet you're not going to say nothing about this. I could talk on this if I want to. Remember, this is a boxing channel, so I don't tend to talk about this sort of stuff. But I can talk on it if I need to, no problem. I'm going to give, listen. Right, listen. So anyway, I've had to say something here, but I'm going to save it. Right, so everyone's crying and making up noise about it. What am I supposed to think about Ryan Garcia using the N-word? I'll be really honest with you. I'll be really, really honest with you. I don't give a shit. I'll be honest. I don't care. Ryan Garcia is a 25-year-old millionaire that lives in America. All right? What does that have to do anything with me? Nothing. Because I'm going to tell you why now. You have to listen to me why. Before you judge, listen to me why. Americans go around calling each other the N-word all the time. All the time. They go around calling themselves the N-word, right? People talk about, there's two different types. You got the N-I-G-G-A, and you got the N-I-G-G-E-R. There's a difference. There ain't a difference. For me, there's no difference. I'll tell you something. I'm from the UK, as a lot of you know. Some of you don't know. I'm from the UK, London, right? London has a large black community, right? Shout out to Los D Punch Out TV. Thank you for showing up to the chat, my guy. Thank you. Gary Tracy, thank you for showing up to the chat. Wizard Sleeves, thank you for showing up to the chat. Right, I'm going to tell you this here. I'm from North London, Tottenham, yeah? Some of you might have heard of it, some of you might not have. Bit of a notorious place over the past 30 years, right? Predominantly, there's a large black community that live there, consisting of West Africans from being Nigeria and Ghana, and you also before you have a large Afro-Caribbean community consisting of the smaller islands, not small islands, and Jamaica and etc. You know what I mean? There are a few Colombians there now and stuff like that, you know, but we're not going to get too deep into that. We do not go around calling ourselves the N-word at all. We don't do it. The N-word is taboo in the UK, right? You use the N-word and it's not a good thing. Black people do not refer to other black people with the N-word in the UK, right? When I was growing up and I used to listen to rap music, I used to listen to like, Chris KRS-One, Kool Moe Dee, Eric B. and Rakim. Listen, the first time I heard the N-word being used over and over and over and over again was by NWA. And at first I was like, why are they calling themselves that? They just sound stupid. Like, why are you calling yourselves that? Do you know what I mean? And to say the truth, a lot of the other nations, Europeans and other nations, even Asians, would look at it in my generation and laugh and think, why? I used to get them asking me, why do black people call each other the N-word? And I was just like, at the time, I was like, I don't know. Right? So anyway, let me not go too far in that. Black Americans call each other the N-word, right? We've got Latinos in the New York area who use the N-word as well, right? Along with the blacks in New York with each other, right? It doesn't seem like it's nothing big over there. So listen, you can't call yourself the N-word and then say, but nobody else is allowed to use it. It doesn't work like that. It don't work like that. It's either you don't use the word and the word is taboo, right? You can't be using the word and say, oh yeah, but we say Nigga, so it don't matter. No, it does matter. You don't realize you are disrespecting your ancestors by using that word, right? Listen, for me, this whole issue with Ryan Garcia and the N-word, right? I'm just saying, I'm not here. Ryan Garcia done wrong. He's being punished for it, and he should be. And it was a racial slur. But you got to look at it like this: where did it come from? Why did he do it? Where did it come from? Is Ryan Garcia a real, true, die-hearted racist? I know racist people. I grew up around racist people in the UK, and I'm gonna tell you, I can sense them. Generally, sense these type of people, and they do not like black people at all, right? They don't want nothing to do. They don't like the music, don't like the culture, don't like the food. They don't like nothing, right? They don't like anything. Ryan Garcia has a black trainer, Derek James, right? I don't need to say much more. I'm not here trying to defend him, but he does not sit to me as a true, out and out racist. He doesn't sit like that to me. Even though he made a racial slur, it was bad, it weren't right, and it was wrong. He shouldn't have done it. He should be punished for it. And whatnot, whatever. And I know a lot of people are upset about it, and so they should be. But if you go around calling yourself a nigger, yeah, I'm going to say the word. You go around calling yourself a nigger, and then someone else calls you it. You listen. Only in America. Only in America. I'm going to tell you this now. All right, I'm going to say this, and a lot of people are going to be upset. But I'm going to tell you this. There's a large percent of black Americans that are uneducated. I'm telling you, they're uneducated. They're stupid, and they ain't got no damn sense in their head. Right? Right? A lot of them are uneducated, and that's no disrespect to all black Americans, because you know what? A lot of them are actually clever and smart and very smart. And I've done a lot of knowledge, research and knowledge myself over many years, over 20 years, yeah? And a lot of my research has come from smart black Americans. But sadly, very sadly, they're in decline, and there's very few of them over there. There's very few of them over there. So you know what? I feel like these people need an education, right? An education. So let's do it. Let's do it. Let's have an education, because these guys need to be educated, right? Ryan Garcia, right? Let's just get into it now. Anyway, Ryan Garcia claims to be a Christian. Okay, how many of you know? All right, I want to know how many of you know. How many of you know this? The word, right? The N word, Nigger, Nigger, is a derogatory term used for black people, right? Which black Americans use it for themselves these days. The word originates, right, from the Latin word. Where are we having now? Where have it? It originates from the Latin word negrios, right, which means black. Negrios, which means black. You go to Spain, you go to Italy, the word negro means black, right? It's not a racial term, it just means black, right? English, the word is Niger, Niger, 1G, means black, right? Somewhere in history, which I do know where in history, in the 1700s, an extra G was added to that word, right? Because the word Niger, Niger, was not a derogatory term. It was just a term used to describe a person of dark complexion. But the extra G was added in the 1700s, somewhere around the 1700s, and then it became a derogatory term, right? So those of you who read the scriptures or read the Bible or anything like that or go to church, if you go to your Bible and you read, yeah, hang on a second, right? You go to your Bible. This is going to be quick. Some of you might not want to hear it, but I've got to say it. So I'm going to give these guys an education now. Here we go. Education, as you like to say in America, edification. You go to your Bible, go to Acts, the book of Acts in the New Testament, written by Paul, and you go to verse 1, and it says, right, in plain old English, it says, now there were in the church that was in Antioch certain prophets, teachers as Barnabas and Simeon, that were called Niger, Niger, right? These prophets were called Niger, right? Why were they called Niger? Because they were men of dark complexion. Hang on a second. So now, right, look. Okay. Wish I could show you. I mean, if I sorted it out properly, I would have been able to show you. I would actually do it on the screen share, but I didn't set it up. Hang on a sec. So the word Niger only appears once in the Bible. Niger only appears once, right? And I've got a Bible dictionary called the Strong's Concordance, right? It's called the KJV, King James Version, Strong's Concordance, right? So it's a Bible dictionary. Any single word that's in the Bible, it will break it down to you and give the literal meaning, right? Because some of you who might know about etymology, the meanings of words change over time, right? This is the 1611 King James is written in Old English. Some of you have ever read it before. It's Old English. So some words mean a different thing today. But if we look now at the strong definitions of the word Niger, it says of Latin origin, as I told you before, Latin origin, Niger can either mean two words. Niger can either mean black or Christian. Right? Christian. Right? It says it here, I'm looking at it right now, it says of Latin origin, black equals Niger, a Christian, Niger. Right? And you're thinking to yourself, why? What do you mean Christian? So I'll go back. I'll go to Acts, the book of Acts 11 and 26, and it says, and when he had found him, he brought him unto Antioch, and it came to pass that the whole year they assembled themselves with the church and taught much people, and the disciples were called Christians first in Antioch. The disciples were called Christians in Antioch first. Before they went to Antioch, they were not called Christians, right? So they're calling them Christians in Antioch. And I'll go to Acts 13 and 1, and it says, now there were in the church that was in Antioch certain prophets and teachers as Barnabas and Simeon that were called Niger. There you go. It's not a racist term. It's just a term to describe black people. So I move on from there. Right? We know that the Spanish word for black is negro. So the Italian word for black is negro. The Latin word is negrius. All right? Translated to English, Niger. Has anyone heard of the term Quebra Negrus? Quebra Negus. Giving you education now for these dumb, stupid people who are just like all the time crying about. You call yourself the N-word, but you cry when other people call you the N-word. Huh? Stupidity at its highest form. I don't give a shit what anyone says. All right, I'm gonna educate you now. Sorry, apologies, people, but I'm not reading through comments because I'm cooking. Welsh, Vice Tech. Shout to you. Thanks for showing up to the chat. Yeah, Shelton. Don't worry about Shelton, man. He's gonna record this live, man. Yeah, oh yes, exactly. I hadn't even got onto that. I was about to get onto that. Isn't Niger a country in Africa? Yes, it is. There is a country called Niger, right? In English, it will be called Niger, right? Right, but it's called Niger because it is a French colony and it is pronounced in a French term, Niger, right? Same thing. It comes from the same place. Etymology, words, the breaking down of words, right? You guys, these dumb, stupid guys over there in America, they need an education, right? No disrespect to Black Americans, because I know a lot of them are smart. I have received a lot of knowledge and understanding from some of these guys, scholars over there. But you know, the guys like the LDBC and Alphabet Boys and Wakandas, they spoil it for the rest of us, man. Right? So, Kibra right? The meaning of the word Kibra is the Kibras, the glory of the kings, right? The glory of the kings. That's what the word Kibra again, Negas, right? Another word for black. Glory of the kings, Ethiopian kings. I'll put it on the screen for you, right? So I don't want to just talk and you guys to listen to me, because the one thing I say to everybody is don't believe what everyone tells you. You need to question things. Question things when you hear it. Don't just take it literal. You need to question things. So when I tell you something, you question me, I'm not going to get upset. I'll show you where I get it from, right? This is just Google, where, right? Google's just a baseline search. But, you know, Kibra Negus, glory of the kings, right, of Ethiopia. I don't need to tell you what color the kings of Ethiopia are, right? Don't need to explain what the color of the, you know, what color they were. So again, I'll go to something else now. Look. So, glory of the kings. Has anyone heard of a man called? I've got to take the cap locks off, man. Kenneth the Niger, right? Kenneth the Niger of Scotland. Kenneth the Niger. I have a book here. Hang on a second. I have a book here because I've got plenty of books. You know what? Because I read, right? I read. This is one thing. The so-called black man, right? He doesn't want to read. He doesn't want to gain knowledge, right? He wants to dance around in the club. He wants to listen to rap music. He wants to buy clothes, buy a fast car, go running around to strip clubs, looking for girls, stuff like that. But he doesn't want to increase knowledge. If you give these so-called people on this earth these days one wish, what will they tell you? Oh, I want to be rich. I want to be rich. But none of them would ask for knowledge. None of them would ask for knowledge. Somebody asks, listen, you got a genie. He says, have one wish. You can have one wish from me. And then most people say, oh, I want to be rich. But you know, a fool and his cash are soon parted. We've seen it many times. You know what I mean? But very few will say, well, give me knowledge instead. Because if you have knowledge, you could be rich if you want, because you have the knowledge. You have everlasting knowledge. You know what I mean? You could be rich. If you lose the money, you can be rich again. You know what I mean? Rather than be a rich fool. Last King of Scotland. Toby Bartlett, Shatsy, thanks for showing up to the chat. All right, I'm going to read this. The House of Alpin, right? The House of Alpin, right? The House of Alpin was one of the first monarchs in Scotland, right? I don't want to get too deep into this, yeah? I don't want to get too deep into this. Again, this is a boxing channel, but I just need to educate some fools over here, man, because they don't seem to know. They seem to know nothing, right? Look, my camera's on now. Some of you guys can see this. Look at this. Might shock some of you guys, but real history wasn't taught to us in schools, right? Kenneth the Niger. I'll just give you a brief rundown of Kenneth the Niger. And there he is. A black and white picture of him anyway. I'll just get into it quickly, what this just says quickly about his dynasty. The following rulers of Scotland, regardless of their blood connection with Kenneth MacAlpine, politically selected other dynastic titles as the House of Dunkeld, the House of Canmore, House of Balliol, Balliol, and the House of Bruce, and the House of Stuart. The Moorish House of Stuart continued to rule both Scotland and England in AD 1603 until it was succeeded in AD 1714 by a German rule, the blood kin. The blood kin. You need to understand this. The blood kin of the Stuarts, called the Hanoverians. Hanoverians. And the Hanoverians are the people that are on the throne till this day. Till this day, right? The monarchy, but they are the blood kin of the Stuarts. Here's another book, Nature Knows No Color Line. Yeah? If a black and a white person have a child, they have a mixed race child. If that mixed race child chooses any which one of one color they want to marry into, the color then continues. So if the mixed race child marries into a white family, eventually his children become white again, and the white children, grandchildren, don't even realize they had a black ancestor, and it works vice versa, right? This book tells you so, and I'm sure you might even know people like that. Yeah, it tells you. So again, this book, Nature Knows No Color Line. I'll show you something now. Hang on a second. Nature Knows No Color Line. Queen Charlotte. Hang on a second. Charlotte Sophia. Right, a lot, contrary to what they say in mainstream media, right? They talk about what's her name? Harry's wife being the first mixed race monarch. Don't listen to it. It's not true. This is Charlotte of Mecklenburg, yeah? Charlotte, right? This book here, this is Charlotte on this page here. Same woman. These are paintings, yeah? All right, so these are paintings, all right? I'm going to be real with you. These are paintings. But Charlotte of Mecklenburg was a mixed race woman, right? She was a mixed race woman, right? Queen of England, Queen of Portugal. I believe she even went to America. That's the reason why you have a state over there called Charlotte, right? One of your states over there in America is called Charlotte. That comes from this woman. Educate yourself. LDBC members, go and buy this book and read, right? Take from the book and read and understand. Gain yourself some understanding, right? Gain knowledge and set your mind free. Knowledge is understanding. What Ryan Garcia said wasn't right, and I'm not condoning it. It was a racial slur, right? But you're so upset about it. You're so upset about it. You need to understand history. If you understand history, these things won't trigger you. These things will not trigger you, right? Charlotte was a mixed race woman, right? And now I'm going to show you something more. I'll show you something more. Right, let me take the screen share off. I'll show you something now. More books. You don't understand. Listen, the knowledge is in books. That's where the knowledge is. All the hidden knowledge is in books. You got to read and understand. Stop all the time on YouTube and flipping Instagram and, you know what I mean, strip club party. Drinking, flipping alcohol and fucking all that syrup stuff they drink over there, and turning your brains to mashed potato. You need to understand what's really going on out here. The so-called black man is only interested in carnal things, man. Don't want to learn nothing, and it gets emotional when he can't argue on certain points because he doesn't have any knowledge. If you don't have any knowledge, you're gonna get upset and cry about things. The minute you understand what's really going on out here, you gain some knowledge, you'll be calm and you'll be able to rebuttal any argument that anyone comes to you with, right? and try and find something here. Now, quickly, I need to find something here. It's from your own president, Benjamin Franklin. Yeah, right. This is from Benjamin Franklin. I'm trying to find it here right now. So if you just bear with me for a second. Again, see, I want to go into some Scottish Kings again. Come on, man. Give me a sec, man. Let's see if I can just type it in Google. I've got it in this book, but I might be able to just Google it quickly. Where is it, man? Come on, man. They removed it from the net. So I've still got. Here we go. Okay, National Archives. Here we go. Oxford University Press. Let's go to Oxford University because nobody can tell me I'm lying if I go here. Right, they've made a long window. I need the short thing of it, man. Because some of you Americans, some of you guys over in the States might not know. Benjamin Franklin came out of a famous statement in 1751. Right, it's called the Essay of 1751, where he made a damning statement. Right, and you cannot erase this from history. It ain't going to be up in places and for you lot to everyone to just see because it's like almost like hidden because they don't want. It's like they almost don't want people to know this stuff. Right. The essay is called Benjamin Franklin Essay 1751. Just trying to find out. Yeah, trying to find a thing where it just actually gives us. Okay. See, it's been you can't find it on the net, man. They're like hidden this. See, if you do a general Google search of this, you can't really find it. See, I used to be able to find this on the net. In fact, you know, if I have to do this again, I'll bring it up. But I've got it here in this book somewhere. Here we go. Okay. Here we go. Benjamin Franklin. This is part of the statement, right? I've got part of his statement. I'll see if I can find a bit more. Benjamin Franklin, Essay 1751, subject, why increase the sons of Africa in America? This is what he said. Okay, here we go. Benjamin Franklin, 1751, and the subject is why increase the sons of Africa in America. It says all Africa is black or twiny, right? Twiny is used as another term for a dark-skinned person, right? Dark-skinned person, but not very dark. Black, obviously dark. Twiny meaning like not so dark, but like, you know, just brown skin color. Asia, chiefly twiny. Black, and in Europe, the Spaniards, French, Italians, Russians, Swedes, and Germans are of what we call a suave or twiny or black complexion. This is Benjamin Franklin saying this. Yeah? Benjamin Franklin is saying it. Go and Google it if you want to. Go and Google this if you want to. This is what he's saying. I'm reading this from a book. I'll show you. Hang on a second. I'll show you. Let me take the camera off quickly. It's in the book, yeah? You can go and find it on the net. It's around. Go and find it. Dig deep. I used to be able to find this very easily on the net, but now it's all being kind of put away into archives, right? So I'm going to continue. He says, I'll start again from the beginning. All of Africa is black or twiny. Asia, chiefly twiny. Chiefly meaning most of it is twiny. Black, black, mostly 20 slash black. And in Europe, the Spaniards, French, Italians, Russians, Swedes, and the Germans are of what we call a swarthy or twiny or black complexion. I was like, what? When I first read this, I was like, what? So I went on the net to see if this was true. And I saw it was true. I saw it. I see it. I'm going to show you guys something in the middle. In a minute. Sorry, in a minute. Again, I'll read again. All Africa is twiny. Asia chiefly twiny, black in brackets. America, exclusive of the newcomers wholly so. In Europe, the Spaniards, French, Italians, Russians, and the Swedes are generally of what we call a swarthy black complexion. So are the Germans also. So Benjamin Franklin's got a table here, right? It says here, when I saw the nations that appeared at the Berlin conference, I was shocked because I had read Benjamin Franklin's essay, 1751, America as a Land of Opportunity. He specifically lists the nations of Europe that were black. So I supplied you with a spreadsheet that has two columns, okay? The column to your far right has a list of white nations that were present in the Berlin Conference, and the column on the left is the nations that Benjamin Franklin states were black in 1751. Okay, listen, you can't get around this. It also says continuation. As you can see, that in 1884, the black nations of Europe have become white, but okay, Mike Israel alerted me to the problem with the list. Okay, we have 4 nations that attended the conference that have not changed yet. Why were they invited? Okay, listen. This book's very interesting, yeah. But I'm going to show you the table that he's talking about. This is the table, right? So I'm going to read it out to you quickly. Benjamin Franklin's list of black nations in Europe, 1751. You can Google this and find out. Spain, black. France, black. Italians, black. Russians, black. Swedes, black. Germans, black. America, black. This is not me saying it. This is what's written here. Yeah, the nations at Berlin Conference in 1884 to 1885. Now, France, white. Britain and Ireland, white. Scotland, UK, white. Germany, question mark. Portugal, white. Italy, question mark. Netherlands, white. Spain, white. Sweden, white. Norway, white. Russia, question mark. Ottoman Turks, question mark. You can go and see this for yourself, man. Go Google it if you need to. Google it if you need to. Go see yourself. Look. Benjamin Franklin's list of black nations in Europe, 1751. Benjamin Franklin's list of white nations in the list of white nations later on. Fucking hell, sorry. I'm getting with the camera. There we go. There we go. The Berlin Conference in 1884. Obviously, Franklin weren't around then, but this is where they attended and what color they were. But anyway, look, that's enough of me going into that. You want to know some more? If you want to know some more, go do some research. And I'm talking to the emotional guys over there. You want to know some more? Go do some research, man. Yeah, okay. The country Niger as well. Let's have a look quickly because I'm gonna wrap this up pretty soon. I might have a look at some of your comments. I don't know what you guys are saying because I'm not even looking at the comments right now. Okay. Okay. Country of Niger. Niger, right? Could be pronounced as Niger. Could be pronounced as Niger. Yeah. Right. This is Niger, West African country. Sits right on top of Nigeria. Niger. Right. This is their flag. Right. Don't know why people are so. Listen, these guys are getting over triggered about this word. Right. Listen, you got to look at it like this. I've been called the N word countless amount of times in my life. Right. Countless amount of times. I won't even be able to tell you how many I've been called the N word. Right. So as people look at that word and think, yeah, right, it's a bad word. But I've been called blackie as well. So someone's gone, oi, you nigger. That obviously not a nice word. Pissed me off at the time, you know what I mean? Obviously, I can't, I've hit a few people for that. Yeah, I have. I've hit a few people. I've done a few things to a few people for calling me that word. I have done in the past. But it makes no difference. If someone goes, oi, you blackie, what's the difference? It's the intent. It's the intent more than the word. It's the intent, right? Ryan Garcia did kind of say it with intent as well. So it's more the intent than it is the word itself, right? Again, right? So this is Niger. Pronounced Niger, right? Pronounced Niger. Oh, that's Botswana, sorry. It's pronounced Niger, but in English, that'll be pronounced as Niger, right? So now, look, somewhere in the 1700s, as I told you, Benjamin Franklin, right? He weren't happy about increasing the sons of Africa in America. He wasn't happy about that. Okay, so somewhere along the line, the extra G got involved, right? When you put the extra G in there, right, it means something different. It means obviously it's now not a word for black; it's a derogatory term, right? So hang on a second. It becomes a derogatory term once you add the extra G. So I want to just show you where this started. Yeah, it started off with Benjamin Franklin and his essay when he wasn't happy about the influx of black people in America and the amount of black people that were in Europe at the time. All right, at that particular time. So this is where sorry, I've got to get this up. Okay. Just trying to find something quickly here. Before I even mention, I need to find it up. Here we go. All right, then look. This is not exactly what I wanted to find, but I'll just show you this. Charles Darwin, right? He lived in the late 17s, early 1800s, right? 1800s. Charles Darwin is the man who put together the whole theory of evolution, right? And in also, this is a statement. What was Darwin's view on race? In contrast, Darwin's position on race was more ambiguous. He believed in common biological origins of all races, but also argued that the civilized European races ultimately would replace primitive races because of superior intellect and result in success in intergroup competition. Is that not is that not like races? Look, he's basically saying that one race is far superior and far more intelligent than another. Like far more intelligent than another. You know, I dispute that. Obviously, we dispute that. But I have another statement from Darwin. Let me see if I can get it up. It's along the similar lines, but Charles Darwin is the man. Listen, where it all comes from, right? Where the race division comes from, right? And to say that there's a statue There's a massive statue of Charles Darwin as soon as you walk into the Natural History Museum in London. There's a massive statue of Charles Darwin. Charles Darwin wrote several books, yeah, and there's a quote. I'm going to read a quote from one of his books. In chapter 7 of Lectures of Man, 1864, he compared the Negro to the white race, whom he described as two extreme human types. The difference between them is claimed a greater than those between two species of ape. And this proves that Negroes are a separate species from whites. That's Charles Darwin. So when Charles Darwin compared the so-called black man to apes, right? He compared the so-called black man to apes. Charles Darwin. So this is the reason why when you see Drew Titan, yeah, right, talking about monkeys and calling other black people monkeys, this is the reason why I say he's an idiot. He's an imbecile. Drew Titan is an imbecile. If Drew Titan knew his history, he would never, ever, ever call his own black people a monkey. Right? Charles Darwin compared black people to monkeys, the intelligence of a monkey. And this is the reason why when I see Drew Titan doing all this monkey business, I'm like, you're an idiot. You're stupid. You say the LWBC stands up for black people and you know, you're fighting for black rights and stuff like that. Black fighters don't get a fair shake and they're always being hard on the black man. The black man never gets. What are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? You're sitting there with Marco. Yeah, Marco talking about monkeys. Your own people are monkeys. Marco was sitting there uncomfortable as fuck. Didn't know where to look. He even said to him, oh, come on, bro. It's too early now. Bro, that man was squeamish, man. He didn't know what to do, man. And Drew Titan's constantly putting up monkey emojis, right? This is the reason why when Drew Titan starts with a monkey talk, I'm like, you are an idiot. You are an idiot. You are an imbecile. You don't have you don't know history. You don't have no knowledge. This man's never read a book before on race and the origins of race and the how it started, and you know what I mean, and where we are today, where we are with it today. Yeah. I didn't really want to come out and do this, man, but so many people were messaging me. I thought, you know what? If you're gonna hear my take and my opinion, you got to hear the history as well, right? You need to hear the history of the N-word as well. The N-word appears in the Bible, right? With one G. And later on, after Charles Darwin comes off with his rhetoric of evolution and the so-called black man being compared to an ape, that's when racism started. That's when the extra G was added to the word, and it then became a derogatory term, right? Because the word negus means king, right? And I showed you that from the beginning. So anyway, books. Take hold of some books and read. That's all I'll say to you, Alphabet Boys, and the ones that are listening to the rerun. Take some books and read. Read. Yeah? So, listen, I ain't got much more to say anyway, man. Let me have a look at some of the comments quickly before I go. Can I school them on it? Can I school them on that? I mean, yeah, I mean, listen, I mean, look, Tavara, maybe you might be a sensible guy, man, but you might be a sensible person. Again, no disrespect to you, man, but I don't really want to discuss. I'm not really here to discuss. I'll give my opinion. You asked me for my opinion, and I came on, right? You was one of the last of the few that was going at me and saying, I want your opinion. I've given you my opinion, but I'm not really here to discuss back and forth. And obviously, you're not an alphabet boy, so, you know, I'll take that off of you. Take that away from you. Obviously, take that off you. Not putting that on you. But any alphabet boys that want to come in and they want a link, you send $20 because you're able to pay your dues over there at 78. You can send super chats to 78 Blue Blood and those guys. If you want to come over here and get my opinion, you want to discuss race with me, you send me a super chat. And no super chats. You'll be just a cash app. Yeah, cash at me, and you can come and talk. All right. Yeah, Ryan's been watching too much True Titan. Listen, JAL5, shout to you. Thanks for showing up to the chat. In no way am I condoning what Ryan said, right? When I say this, but I did notice something. I did notice something, and I'm going to say it, right? We have a content creator called Chumpside, yeah? A bum-ass rat snake snitch, yeah? Right? This dude snitched on my channel. One sec. Yeah, this bum Champside, fucking clout chaser. When he had Ryan Garcia on his live the other day, fucking clout chaser that dude is, yeah, and a snitch as well. Snitch my channel. I made a videos about it on my last channel. But anyway, yeah, I call him out every now and again. He's another guy I don't like. He's a snitch, right? Ryan Garcia came out, and you know what he said? He was going back and forth with Champside. You know what one thing he said? He come out and said, and it really stuck in my brain. He goes, "You guys have been going at me since I was a kid. I've had enough of it." He goes, "You guys have been making videos on me from when I was 17 years old. Well, I was just a kid. You got to look at it like that. You got grown-ass men in their 40s and their 50s making videos about a teenage kid. And the videos they're making was just like this videos, derogatory videos, all the time, constantly. You know what they're like. So obviously Ryan Garcia is a social media guy. He watches social media and he's seen these guys make videos on him. Go to Blue Blood's channel and go and look at the past 6 months, right? 75% of his content is on Ryan Garcia. If that's not called bullying, then I don't know what it is. It's negative. 75% of his content. That's why I stay on Blue Blood's neck. 75% of Blue Blood's content on Ryan Garcia, that is 75% of his content is Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney stuff, and it is all negative on Ryan Garcia. He is not an impartial boxing channel. He's a biased boxing channel, and that's why I call him out all the time. And if you look at his Devin Haney content, 100% positive Devin Haney content. Blue Blood is biased, right? Shout out to Mill City Boxing. Mill City Boxing had Ryan Garcia's mum on his live stream last night, right? You had Zab Judah on there, clout chaser. I don't even know why Zab Judah's even showing up all the time for, but anyway, he was there. And they were talking about the whole situation. Ryan's mum was just, going in about the whole, and you had bum-ass Mr. Shelton over there trying to go at Ryan's mum and through the comments, and the rest of his goons and uneducated buffoons going at Ryan's mum. You know what I mean? Right? Fair enough. That's what they were doing. And all of a sudden, I think Blue Blood appeared. And everyone's saying, send Blue Blood the link, send Blue Blood the link. I'm like, what for? The man's biased. We're having a good discussion right now. People are cool. I mean, they had a few people on there and everything. Next week, send Blue Blood the link. Get the fuck out of here. I don't want to hear Blue Blood. Get him out of here. No. Blue Blood's not. Listen, Blue Blood, Blue Blood was on his live. Yeah? His last live. Bro, man. This guy was inciting violence. Anyone who sees Ryan Garcia should be on his neck. Should be on his neck. I'm like, wow. I'm like, wow. Listen, say it as you want, but you got to keep that same energy, man. You got to keep that same energy. Yeah. Yeah. Have I mugged people for saying what? Can I say a story? What's that? What's that, boxing fan? Negus is it means basically black kings of Ethiopia. Yeah. Chumpside has been clout chasing for Ryan's name for months. He's even following him about on Twitter space. He's a dick. He's a dick. He's a snitch as well, man. I got paperwork on that guy. Show you on my old channel, man. I might have it on my iPad somewhere. This guy is a snitch. Only true Americans are the Indians, but you know what? As well as the sleeves. Hollywood tells us the Indians were the Indians that we see. There was like, I mean, I can name three. I mean, you got the Apache, the Comanche, and you got the Cherokee. I mean, those are only two that I can mention, but there was like loads of Indian tribes, and not all of them were of the same complexion. Let's just say that they were all just like you go to Africa, North Africa. You can see the people are mixed race, kind of. North Africans, Moroccans, Algerians, Tunisians, Egyptians. They're all mixed. They're mixed with Europeans, okay? And then when you come further down Sub Africa, you've got more black races and stuff like that. If you go over to East Africa, you see a mix in Somalians, Eritreans, and stuff like an Arab mix. So wherever, and the closest to where you are, you might have a mix over there. It's the same with the Americas, North America, South America. We had the Indians over there. Not all the Indians were of the same complexion and of the same. You know, you had Indians who looked like Asian Indians, and you also had Afro Indians. All right, history book tells us so. If you, again, education, people need to read. If you read Christopher Columbus's memoirs, his memoirs, his diary logins, he actually says, right, a lot of these Indians are different. There's different tribes. He mentions Indians from the Indians that we know that Hollywood tells us about these Indians, right up until he says there are black Indians with curly, woolly-like hair, right, that resemble the Negroes in Africa. So you know they were there because a lot of the Indians were actually. But I can actually show you. I can actually show you pictures. Really, there's still pictures of these Indians, and I mean a lot of Americans actually know it as well. A lot of Black Americans are not actually from Africa; they are actually indigenous Indians. Jada Pinkett famously told a reporter once, "I'm not African American. Stop calling me African American." And they're like, "What are you?" Because I'm an indigenous American. So you know, yeah, I don't even want to get into that. Just gonna top this off. I know a lot of people have dropped off, but it is what it is. I gotta finish what I'm saying. Some people hate knowledge. It just is what it is. You are gonna get that, and that's why I don't talk about this sort of stuff on this channel. A lot of people hate knowledge. And that's the way the world is today, right? It's the way that the world is today. People generally hate knowledge. The so-called black man hates knowledge as well, and that's why he's emotional when someone calls him the N-word. Right? Look, you can see here. This is an Indian. 98% of African Americans are, in fact, native Indians and are owed millions. Right? I think the percentage is incorrect there. I believe it to be incorrect, but look, you can see this girl here is wearing Indian attire. She's from Oklahoma. She's wearing Indian attire with the feathers, the feathers on her. Got her hair plaited. You got the feathers in her hair and stuff like that. She got the tassels and the fringes and stuff like that. Again, we can see another man. I mean, this guy here, if you take his headdress off, he's got an afro. He's a black man. Again, yeah, you see, these are ancient pictures here, and also a picture here. All right. Some of them were black. Some of them didn't have afro hair. Some of them actually had straight hair, Indian type hair. If some of you might know black people who don't have afro hair, they actually have straight hair. So, yeah, it is what it is, man. I think I've said enough. Now, again, you just need to search on the net and you can see it, right? Not all the tribes were of predominantly Indian looking. Like you can see here, like, look, see this lady here? Again, could pass as a black lady here. These are all in Indian attire and they look like Negro people. But anyway, look, only 2 people left up in here, man. You know what? Listen, the scriptures say, the Bible says, fools hate knowledge. Fools hate knowledge. So it is what it is. So anyway, enough said. I'm going to have a look at the poll just before I get out of here, man. Because I know some people, yeah, only 12 minutes ago. How many people votes? 12 votes. Only 12 votes. It's 50-50. It is what it is. So you're divided. Is he a true racist? True racist? 50% say yes and 50% say no. So it's divided on that. Boxing fan's still here. Boxing fan, give a shout out to you anyway. Boxing fan, I can definitely say does not hate knowledge, right? Because the Bible says fools hate knowledge. All right. And a lot of the stuff that we do today and the way we live and stuff like that is governed by the Bible. Laws that we live by come from the Bible. Uh, Generally, you go to court, you swear on the Bible, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to get back into that. As I said, this is a boxing channel. I didn't want to have to do this, but I did this because a lot of people want to know my take on it. Because see now, I had 10 people up in there. Now there's only 2. So people have hightailed it out of it. You know what they say in it? No disrespect to the people that are in there that probably had to go and do something. But LDBC members that were here, you know what they say in it? The wicked flee where no man pursueth. But anyway, boxing fan, Toby Bartlett, shout to you. Thank you once again for staying with me. And those of you that had to duck off, that wasn't directed at you. But you know, the Bible says, fools hate knowledge and a wicked flee where no man pursueth. That's why these LDBC members, they can't stay and hear the knowledge. Because I know a lot of them were over here anyway. Anyway, look, enough said. Listen, Toby, I'm out of here, man. I've said enough now. I've been on for over an hour. And this ain't about boxing, really, is it? It's not really about boxing. But I just wanted to give some of these Americans, there's a lot of smart Americans, and a lot of my knowledge I get from some of them as well. But there are a lot of them that just don't know what's going on out here, man. So it is what it is. Anyway, Toby, shout to you. Anyway, boxing fans, shout to you. And the other person that's up in there, thank you for staying in with the chat. Rewind crew, hopefully you can listen to some of this stuff. Go and do the research. Don't believe what I said. Go and do the research yourself. I've got books here to show it. And these are not the only books I have. Let me show you and put you on camera now. Put myself on camera. I mean, these are not the only books that I have, right? I have plenty more. And the other books I have, they all say the same thing, right? These are just 3 books here that all corroborate each other. And I have literally a whole shelf here and another shelf in London. They all say a similar thing. They all say a similar thing. No contradictions. So it is what it is. Read books for understanding and gain knowledge. Knowledge is power. It is what it is. See you later.